5, 4, 3.
It's showtime.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Welcome to the party, pal!
See you at the party, Richter!
I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Get away from her, you bitch!
I'll be back.
You did not gonna say that, did you?
What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
To do the binds.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Inconceivable!
Little Dallas multipass.
This is a tasty burger.
Face.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
I'm the bad guy?
And home. Smash.
I can speak with an English accent.
I have a very great friend in Rome called Biggest Dickens.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
You went over my helmet?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex? I know, right?
There's no crying in baseball! Hey, where are the white women at?
They're digging in the wrong place.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Are you not entertained?
Second start of the run. Straight off for one.
Meow.
You son of a bitch!
21 gigawatts!
Wax on, wax off.
Oh my goodness, I am sporting a tremendous woody right now.
Excuse me? Baking powder?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Bartender is the aristocrat of the working class.
You want to flip 6-3 whole play and you could score.
Cover me.
Why so serious?
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. On this team, we fight for that itch.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
No ticket.
No ticket.
We're gonna get FUBAR now.
What the hell's FUBAR?
I get older, they stay the same age.
Here's Johnny.
It's not what you know. It's what you can prove.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. He's 15.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Hope is a good thing. Maybe the best of things. And no good thing ever dies.
Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hetero life mate, Oh My Feelings. How are you, sir?
Skull.
Wait. Skål. There we go. Got my cappuccino coffee here, all ready to go. Anyway, yes, and I have put some stuff in it.
So we are here to talk about essentially setup and payoff of the movie.
Yes, correct. What is the Reel McCoy? You might ask. The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go watch a movie, you watch it, come back to us, and we break it down for you. Yes, I have managed to make it work after 6 seasons. Why am I talking about seasons? Just go to the YouTube channel and see it. Anyway.
Like Abed said, we're waiting for the movie rights to come in. Come on, 6 seasons of the movie.
Exactly. No, the syndication. I want the syndication money. Just like my wife is rewatching Smallville, and I was like, man, that guy does not need to work at all anymore. Holy hell.
Wow, yeah, because Jerry Seinfeld's a billionaire just because his comedy was so great.
Of course. That's why he keeps doing it. Anyway, this month, I'm keeping it like the levity level as high as possible because we are going to come down. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, this is going to come down hard. We decided on this particular month of this year, of July this year, that we are going to go deep, dark, and dingy with some movies that you only want to see one and you never want to see them again.
Yeah.
Commonly dubbed the ones and dones. Now,
you got really lucky with you adding this one on there because there were several that were on the list already where I'm like, okay, I already put them through a lot with When Evil Lurks last week. And next week's movie is going to be the same thing where you go like, God damn it, man. I know it. You're going to love the movie because the movie is fantastic. And the catch, like when it comes around, you're like, oh, this is a good movie, but these people are the worst.
Okay, we'll wait with that for a little bit. Now we're talking about the movie Midsommer. Now,
because it was almost going to be Martyrs. Which...
No, Midsommer was always going to be here. Always. I think Midsommer was moved before When Evil Lurks, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Anyway,
but I did have Martyrs on the list. And if anybody knows, if anybody's seen Martyrs, they're like, oh no. Oh no.
Okay, so before we get into it, and we've got some the returning James Mendoka.
Oh wow, hi Finn.
We'll say hello to everybody. So we'll say hello to Finn. We'll say hello to Kaladin. We'll say hello to James. We'll say hello to everybody else who is watching on the replay and all that good stuff. I don't do this regularly, but some YouTube stuff happened with algorithm yet again, and I don't want to cry about it because I'm not one of those guys. But it will help a lot if you are here and you're watching up until this point. Leave a like. Don't need to subscribe, and just put us in the background and just enjoy the show of two of us, two friends here, two best friends, just talking about a movie. Whether like it or not, we'll see what's up. But I hope you enjoyed the show. And yeah, just say anything in the comments if you like. Just say anything. We suck. We're good. That guy is handsome. And we're talking about that guy, not me, obviously. Do that for me if you can, please. And
seriously, just be like John Cusack and just say anything, okay?
Oh my God. Because you saw the thing. You saw it. You saw it. James is like, anything? Yeah. Dude, okay.
Well, James, you had me. You had me anything, buddy. You had me anything.
Yeah. So enough of the stupid YouTube pageantries. Let's talk about Midsommer. And James said it a moment ago. He said, I beg to differ with Midsommer. Now, I try to do as much as humanly possible. If there is something that I could investigate, watch, that is something that is beyond the, Midsommer ending explained or Midsommer explained. I've seen 4 videos about that, and everyone kind of just does a run through of the movie and be done with it and gives their own kind of opinion. It's not really a review. It doesn't really explain anything. It just goes through the motions of the story. But when you kind of dive into the stuff and go into interviews and stuff, one of the things that kind of came up, and this is something that Ari Aster, the director, said, that he made a film that you would want to watch and then rewatch and then rewatch again, because it is so bizarre that you tell a story in tapestry and then it kind of plays out just like the tapestry.
Correct, yeah.
But sometimes you're like, wait a minute, did I miss anything? And you go back and rewatch the entire movie. The movie is 2.5 hours long, and that's the theatrical cut.
Which
the director's cut, the director's cut is like 23 minutes longer.
But the original
cut was but the original cut was 3 hours and 40 minutes.
That's way too. There had to be way too many scenes with more of the actual Midsommer festival traditions and things. But as we mentioned though backstage, I talked to you about this, that I did a re-review just to catch all of the actual nods that he did with the tapestries and setting up every single scene, and they are done. That I give the director the utmost credit of being like, "Yep, I showed you before. Now I'm telling you."
So to conclude, we'll get to it in the end. Is Midsommer? We'll leave the question hanging until the end. Is Midsommer a movie that is watch and be done with it, or it's essentially a movie that you have to rewatch in order to pick up all the different things that are there and sort of hidden in plain sight?
Now,
because there are essentially a laundry list of Easter eggs that have nothing to do with the tapestries, that I've not included in my behind the screens notes.
I will say this. Okay. I would say for anyone who is just wanted to watch the movie one time, it is definitely a one and done. If you are more intrigued about, especially how films are made, this is a film that is definitely not a one and done because it's very interesting about how the film was made, and some of the cinematography is absolutely gorgeous.
We'll get to that because I went into the movie with an opinion, and my inner cinephile was really angry with myself, I guess. I don't know how to say, but I was
because you loved how the movie was made, you just didn't like the movie, correct?
I loved the way that it was done.
Yes, that's what I assumed.
that's the initial thing. Is I love the way that it was done. I'm just pissed, and I do not want to watch this movie ever again. But to leave the question hanging, is this a one and done for the audience, or is it a one and done just for us, or maybe it isn't? But we will start, as we do every single time, with a little segment we like to call Behind the Screens.
Sound production, take 2.
I know I took the later part picture. It just looks more vibrant, and you'll get why when I get into that. So Behind the Screens is where we get to both of us as we kind of tell you everything that is behind the scenes, production stuff, all those good things. By the way, chat, if you have anything to add, please write it in the comments. I will try to grab it and put it on screen. Okay. Shall I begin? You'll interject? Hello?
Don't make me laugh. I'm thinking of Spartacus right now when you said that.
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
Shall I begin?
As in Zorro, Anthony Hopkins said, again, the initial concept for the movie is a Swedish folk horror film. It was pitched by 2 Swedish producers called Patrick Anderson and Martin Karlqvist to Aster, and it was done even before his first movie ever came out. In fact, this entire project kind of started its legs around 2013.
Yep.
And generally speaking, the 2, Patrick and Martin, really kind of envisioned it as a story that is sort of really parallel to The Wicker Man, which is a very sort of American folk tale horror.
Yes, which is, well, it's more British, but anyway, because of Druidic traditions. But no, with the Nicolas Cage one, because they also had problems with bees.
Yes, I know.
Coming up.
I just found that really funny. Okay, so again, this is before Aster even did Hereditary, and then of course, Aster was really excited to get into this project. And by the time he got the first draft, he experienced a massive breakup. He was with this lady for 3 years, and they broke up. And he felt like there was no reciprocation. There's no, he gave love and she didn't give love back. So in a way, it's a sort of a role reversal where Aster said that he most identifies with the character of Danny rather than Christian.
Because boy, he's a piece of shit. We're gonna talk about him.
We'll get to that.
I said, didn't also he really mentioned that modern romance was one of his big inspirations when he was working on kind of redrafts for Midsommer and concepts.
All I know is that he definitely said that it's a cult horror movie. A breakup story disguised as a cult horror movie. And he said that the best way to describe it is the Wizard
of Oz for perverts.
And I was like, whoa.
That's
and
a little bit out there. But then you get into it. You're like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see
there's some scarecrows around, and people get turned into a scarecrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two of the old bloods who volunteered, they turned them into. Like, to be fair, too, some of the practical effects are really great, but some of them are really jarring, and they're like, that looks awful. Some of the corpse work that was done later for the ones that were the old bloods, like, I know what they were going for. It's very Wicker Man, Children of the Corn-esque, because that happened in the same vein and the same kind of principles. But oh boy, it looks almost as bad as Tom Savini's like early stuff. Like, wow, that looks really rough. That's not a human, clearly.
I was like, I was like, it's more Rob Bottin kind of thing, where it's really crazy.
That's
Rob
fair.
Bottin esque. So Aster started working on the project, but then of course he got sidetracked on working on Hereditary.
Yeah. Which I will just say is it's a much more obviously concise. It is a better film. It is.
I haven't seen it yet. I told you this. I know of it, but I don't know the story of it, which when I haven't seen a movie, I really don't want to know anything about it until I actually watch it. So I do plan to watch it because I kind of like and dislike Toni Collette. It really depends on the role she does, and I don't know where the movie will fall. And again, I'm not a horror guy, so it's really tough for me to like take the plunge. You know this.
Trust me, when you see it, it's unlike any other kind of. Again, we talked about possession films last week. And like unlike any other possession movie you'll have ever seen in your entire life. It is.
That's good.
It's actually like it was a refreshing take then, and it still stands up. It's very, very good.
Okay, it's definitely on the high on the list too. So in terms of casting, so the first gal, let's roll that back. I'm sorry. So Ari Aster didn't want to go through the, let's say, call them proper channels in Hollywood. He was really adamant to pick the actors he wanted to pick, which means that we don't really have any information about most of the actors that he wanted on the movie. So you don't know that like Will Poulter is one of the guys he wanted. You don't know any other people who were up for the role because it was sort of not really a guarded secret. It's more like, hi, will you do this movie? Yes, thank you.
To be fair, Ari Aster is that way with his casting, where he doesn't want people to do auditions. He has someone in mind for the role, and they either take the role or he has to try to rewrite the role for somebody else. He's very particular about his casting. That's what was with Florence Pugh. I think she absolutely nailed it. I think we talked backstage. Jack Reynor, Christian, plays the perfect fucking asshole. Like, he is amazing. Will Poulter, again, I just saw him in the series The Bear because he plays a chef named Luca.
It's already downloaded and ready to be
shown. You're gonna absolutely love that show, and you're gonna be like, dude, why did you tell me about this like 3 years ago?
There's just 4 more seasons of Smallville to get through.
I know, but Luca is such a sharp disposition between him and this character, because Mark is an asshole. By the way, the hi Mark line, I laughed every single time I heard it. Hi Mark.
Anyway, it's downloaded and it's ready to trigger. Seen the ending of Extraordinary season 2. I half expected what was going on.
Okay.
Let's see what's gonna go up with season 3. Yep. I'm looking forward to it. It's such a refreshing thing after all the Marvel stuff. It's really refreshing take on the superhero genre. If you haven't seen Extraordinary, it's a British show. It's just fun. They have fun with it. That's the most
really hope that they actually get another season because it left it on such an open cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, back to the show. It is the show, but back to where we were. So,
just one last one. William Jackson Harper playing Josh. He was most known for his other role in a show that his character is the absolute polar opposite of this. He is the nicest guy in sorry, was that? Oh, bye, Kaladin.
Bye, Kaladin. I'm not ignoring you. The problem is, if All My Feelings sees something flashing on the screen, his line of thought gets cut and he is discombobulated.
No, I was going to say,
Kaladin, enjoy the show later.
But his role in The Good Place, he is the polar opposite of Josh.
Okay, I haven't seen The Good Place, but I'll take your word for it. So what was I gonna say is that the only person we do know about the casting sort of thing is actually the role of Danny. So originally, Ari Aster wanted Haley Lou Richardson, which I have never heard that name before.
Oh, yeah, I could see it.
And she kind of rejected it. And the reason is I'm too overworked, and I've just done like a dark role, and I don't want to go into another dark role. And I was like, I've never heard of this name ever in my life. Turned on IMDb. Since 2013 until I checked until 2018, she has done 7 movies in 5 years, plus appearances in TV shows here and there. I think one of them was like Law and Order or something like that. Yep. So it's just TV appearances. She is a working actress. I've never seen this woman in my life.
That's surprising.
But me and modern movies is not something, you're the one that has to drag me into these
that's
some
true.
of these good movies, some of them. Boosh, get me 1,500 people and I will definitely interact with at least 10 of them.
Hey, get us 1,500. We'll do an entire Missing Marquee podcast. 1,500. There you go.
No.
That's the benchmark.
Get me 1,500 and we'll talk about it. Lol. Of course, dude. Of course. I see everything. I just don't react to anything because I'm sick that way. Okay. So, okay. Aster, and I love this, that it's called a DP, but it's essentially director of photography. Yeah. Pavel Pogrotsky. No. Pavel. So Pavel.
I was saying, your Hungarian is not too good, right?
It's not Hungarian. He's Polish.
It's Polish? Okay. It's close.
I'm Jewish, so I'm supposed to say it well, but forget it. Both of them went to scout locations. Now they went to Helgeland, Sweden, and just to see the region, but really early in the pre-production, while still working on the post-production of Hereditary.
Yeah.
They were scouting locations, ended up in Hungary of all places, and finally settling on a place just out of Budapest.
Yep.
Now, why didn't they film in Sweden? Well, there's 2 issues. A, there are strict rules on working hours, any working hours, which means that if you want to film for roughly around 10 daylight hours or even 8 daylight hours, you're pretty much limited because you only have 8 hours to work in. So all the camera setup, all the rigging, all the stuff that you do, like when there's no daylight or no workable light, you cannot do or you're very limited. That means the entire shoot gets elongated and gets more costly because the more days you have, the more people you do. And also it was costlier to get extras, building permits, all that other stuff.
I would say land and building permits had to be the most expensive. And
I don't know what was more expensive to me. To me, labor is the most intensive work there is. But the thing is, it's actually created other problems, which I'll get to in a minute. Both decided, just like last week, if you remember, on When Evil Lurks, the director there wanted to flip the script and have a horror film mostly done around when there's daylight, right? The same goes for Midsommer, but even more highlighted, where the last scene of When Evil Lurks is generally in the dark. They come into that school at the very when it's dark. Here, it's lit up almost the entire time, and if it's not lit up during the first pieces, it actually is dark at the very beginning of the movie, and then it becomes Midsommer, and we'll get to that in a minute. You've seen the picture. We'll talk about it as we get
also,
into it.
I think is also the great thing about it as well, just because of the actual tradition and the amount of sunlight that happens during that time would be so would completely disorient anyone who is not familiar with that kind of schedule, because it happens with that with Mark and everything. Like the first time they get high, it's 9 p.m. Why is the sun still out?
Yeah,
this is not okay.
He freaks out. He freaks out completely. Once the spot was selected, they worked for about 2 months to actually construct an entire village. So everything you see in the movie is something that was not there and fully constructed. But there was restriction that they didn't really sort of thought about, but they worked around it. The structures were actually built on poles. Now, in the movie, it kind of seems like, yeah, fine. It kind of holds everything together. No. The structures didn't actually touch the ground, because if it's touching the ground, it is a permanent structure.
Correct.
If it doesn't touch the ground, it is a is it, how do you call it in English? That's the word a timely structure.
Well, you can call it a temporary structure.
Temporary. Okay, temporary structure. Okay. So when it's temporary, there's no problem. Permanent, real big problem.
Yes.
So they got around that, and they masked that with, you don't really see it, with lots of little grass, grass that you had around, and straw and everything that you put on the sides. You barely notice it. Otherwise, there's like a 2 or 3 inch gap that you don't see, which is interesting. Now, the wardrobe, the very elaborate wardrobe that the Harga cultists are wearing, if you notice or not, they're all individually made. So no costume is exactly the same. They were all hand stitched. They were all done by with a specific linen in mind, with variations, of course.
Yep.
And each and every Harga cultists have their own unique runes, their own unique setups, their different colors, different patterns, all that.
Correct.
Hand stitch for about 100+ people.
Yep. Because they all had unique runic and signatures. It's really cool.
It's really cool. Now,
well, that also, that Christian had his own separate one that was made for him before he goes with Maya in the mating ritual.
Yes, and I believe his rune is like, and there's meaning for all the runes, but essentially his rune is like, was it justice and something else?
Well, it's justice, love, and propagation, or
propagation.
Fertility.
Yeah, that's the one. And if we're talking about wardrobe, The May Queen dress had over 10,000 fake flowers, as if somebody thought they were real.
They were going to be real. Like, no.
No. And it weighed about 30 pounds, which is about roughly the weight of Florence Pugh.
Yes. Sometimes it looks like it.
I don't know
to
what
be
it
fair,
is about.
though, she's a trooper because she had just come off of playing Paige.
Okay.
The wrestler in the movie.
She did?
Yeah, she was Paige, the wrestler.
Oh, I know who Paige the wrestler.
Yeah,
fighting did that
fighting
before
with my
Midsommer?
family. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My timeline is way off. I remember that movie coming out after 2020. Okay. You know more than me about that. Talk about runes. The effect runing language is actually completely fucking fake. Now, it was inspired by real Nordic runes, but they mixed in some other runes from like Germanic, from Celtic, from Gaelic, all that's kind of mixed in. Some of them are like questionable if they're runes or not, but they kind of look like runes. So, and
Well, that also
I'm
goes with a lot
generally
of the-
talking about.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm talking about the book when Josh gets sort of like they show him the book. And
the book
paintings?
that Ruben is writing in. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that is mostly where when it kind of gets mixed between Nordic and all that, like Germanic and all that.
Well, and also
Go
too,
ahead.
to be fair, like, a lot of the Midsummer traditions that they're displaying throughout the entire film are an amalgamation of multiple different Midsummer, summer solstice traditions. So
I'll tell you what, I have seen an actual summer solstice, midsummer Swedish ritual. It's not a ritual; it's sort of a ceremony rather than a ritual. It's very much like divulge of any flowers. It's mostly like what you think about like a wreath is, but it's whatever Pele is wearing at the very, very end, less elaborate, but very sort of green. They're very tuned into the green stuff. I think the Norwegian one is a little bit more flowery. So it's a mixture between like Swedish, Norwegian, Denmark.
I thought there would be more
Finland.
Danish or Finnish because I mean,
I don't know.
It's the tulip madness. You think?
No, tulips are Dutch, but
Dutch,
well, yeah. Anyway, so you're right. It's a bit of an amalgamation just to mask and not sort of like, I don't know if they didn't do it to offend anybody because the movie is pretty offensive.
Well, I mean, they pretty much just said like, no, this is Sweden. This is.
Yeah, they said it's Sweden, but it's way more like very pagan rather than anything.
I would say, to be fair though, I did not hear any ABBA, so it's very hard to tell.
Jesus. Okay. So
I had to. Come on.
You had to. You really had to. So most of the stunts were practical. CGI was used a little bit in the, I'm going to butcher that word, Astupe? Is it called? The Astupe scene?
It's the set aside, yes.
Yeah. The Astupa thing is actually based in reality, if you know it or not. Yep. It's places where giants threw themselves into the sea because giants were immortal. That's the basic story. Hold on. My boy went to bed. I asked him if he wants a hug, but he's bottomless. I'm like, no.
Nope.
Not totally bottomless. He's got a briefs. It's not appropriate.
Well, as a very odd segue, just to bring up just one bit, which I'm sure you may bring up in a second, but it's very interesting that really that Jack Reynor really fought for the fact to do his entire scene bottomless. to do full frontal nudity, because I have to give the actor again the most credit, because like he made one of the most dislikable characters I've seen in a film in a very, very long time, and since then I don't think I've disliked a character that much in a very, very long time. But so
you may have watched the movie
for it because he wanted to embrace that he was exposed and the humiliation of Christian at that time. And it's like, and he wanted to reiterate the fact that well, you know, female nudity is so prominent in horror films. Typically, it's not really that often that you see anyone hanging dongs.
Film, you don't see many dongs in horror films. Yeah. So the CGI in this estupe scene was mostly just to enhance the height. So the quarry that they were in is really in Hungary, and they just added a little bit more height to when it actually was, where everybody's sort of looking up. It's not that high, but they've added in to make the dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Also, they kind of they brush away the wiring because the stunt people actually jumped it.
Yeah.
With some help, in the smashing part, obviously.
Well, with the hammer.
Most of it
That's
is
really
completely practical.
Yeah, because they built a prop that they could actually smash over and over and over again, and that was actually based off of the hammer. The mallet was based off of one that was actually in a museum that Aster went to.
that actually was not done to smash people, but apparently ritualistically kill animals for some reason. But
correct. So like if you know of a lot of pagan traditions, especially the god Schoenberg, he has a hammer, and that's how he would take care of his fallen cattle if he just hit them over the head.
Yeah. And of course, CGI was used for we'll call it the drug effects.
Yeah.
And to sort of move trees and stuff where they're not supposed to move, but they kind of look like they moved.
Yeah, they see that they're breathing. Yeah. So and also, I think also with the scene where she's crowned as the May Queen, where it looks like that the lady is actually breathing on the table.
Yes, and her chair at times,
that's moving,
move as if they're like fingers. And when she's dancing after she drank the obvious fucking MDMA or whatever it was, and she looks down.
Ayahuasca and mushroom tea, essentially. Yeah.
It's sort of they have mushrooms, so I'm guessing it's some sort of an MDMA type deal. Let's call Joe Rogan and ask, okay? Yeah. When she looks down, her feet kind of look like they're amalgamating with the straw that she's stepping on. When they first take mushrooms, she looks at her hand after she looks at the breathing tree. Her hand
growing out of her hand.
Exactly, which freaks her the fuck out.
Which I think the thing that really freaked her the fuck out was I love this thread, and we're going to talk about it more when we talk about the movie, is it's consistent. Whenever someone mentions family, that's when she loses her shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's when Mar says, "You guys are like my family." That's when she loses it.
Yep.
And runs.
Exactly. Now, we're going to go a little bit more deep into it, but on the whole, if you watch the movie, especially on the very first time, you might miss it. This is why I talked about the fact that you might need to go back if you're into it. But there is a lot of foreshadowing in the movie done through the visualization of tapestries, as we said in the intro. I will put this on now, but I will go back to it. This is the tapestry from the very beginning of the movie. And if you look hard and long into it, it essentially is the story of the entire movie.
So Meph, we're done now. We're wrapped then. Correct?
Yeah, we're wrapped. We're done.
Because this is the movie.
Yeah. So from the start is the skull part until the sun part. That's the very end. we'll get to that.
No, so
when we
what's
get
great
to
too is
that.
if you look at the beginning of the tapestry too, like it even depicts the carbon monoxide poisoning with
Yes,
with the
with the
actual
tubes and
full
everything.
tubes. It's like, damn, that's really
Yeah. And that kind of, like I said, that's one part of the foreshadowing where it actually tells you the entire story, but you saw it at the very beginning of the movie. And even if you paused it to actually stop and look, which you wouldn't do on the first viewing, you wouldn't be able to pick up everything, especially not the very like the very end. But you know,
I
but
will
it
say,
also yeah.
once you can pick up clearly is Skinning the Fool with Mark.
Oh yeah.
The bear tapestry is obvious with Christian. What
Yes.
happens with Josh later is clearly depicted as well as another tapestry. The only one that really isn't is what happens with Simon and Connie, which we'll talk about them when we talk about the movie.
Yes. And sort of like, and it also the tapestry where Christian gets the love potion, obviously at later on.
Yeah, well, there is the entire setup of
Yeah.
Maya setting up her entire, which I don't think you can actually show that on YouTube. Her tapestry there.
I cannot show a part of it.
well, there's two very big portions where it's like, so it's just spread.
We'll call it YouTube. We'll call it problematic. I don't. So into the orgy scene. The orgy scene was.
It's not really an orgy though. It's a mating ritual.
It's said orgy scene. It's not really. Yeah, I know it's not orgy. Anyway,
I would
the
still
scene,
refer to it as a mating ritual more than anything else.
Fine.
I mean,
the fucking scene,
yes,
was particularly problematic. Now, apparently, Mark, who plays Mark, is it Mark?
No,
Mark Reynor.
Jack Reynor.
Jack Reynor. Jack Reynor. Too many names. I don't remember names. God damn.
Like Christian and it's Maya, but Isabella
Christian.
Grill. Yeah, it was like that
The
was
guy-
her first role too. Like,
Yes.
huh? And she barely spoke any English.
Okay. First of all, the girl playing Maya, first role ever in a movie.
Yep.
That's an issue. Second, the guy playing Christian was he wasn't too it wasn't too awkward for him to be naked, apparently.
Yeah.
But he wanted to sort of break the ice with the other naked extras.
And none of them spoke English either, too.
Problem is, they all spoke Hungarian. Didn't spoke a lick of English, and which made it, as the guy Jack Reynor said, particularly awkward to do so. And it's one of those scenes where it's at the very end of the movie, but it's one of the last scenes
I was saying,
that they
wasn't
shot.
that film like a film like the last day of actual?
I don't know if it's the last day, but it's one of the last scenes to be shot.
Yeah.
In the movie. So as I said, the movie original run was 3 hours and 24 minutes, which was trimmed down. First of all, due to sort of commercial necessity, because it's way too long. And also they had to cut away pieces because the movie was rated as an NC-17 originally.
Correct. There was like, what, a 6-week to 8-week debate, something like that? Around
I don't know. I didn't go into it. I I just didn't think it was important, but there was a lot of going back and forth with the entire NPAA thing. Ultimately, they trimmed some gruesome parts and really moments here and there in the sex scene at the very end. Not too much apparently. The mostly of the gore,
I think what they probably had to cut really was Simon getting blood eagled.
Some of it,
because they showed him and they showed the fact that he was still alive, which is like, oh, that man is in so much pain.
Yeah, the thing about it is some of it was like that scene was ADR'd to tone down the breathing. The Estupe scene was toned down a little bit in terms of how gory it is, even though it's really fucking gory.
Yeah.
But every time a mallet is used, apparently maybe it's a problem. So they cut it away and got to 2 hours and 23 minutes, I think, of theatrical cut.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came up with a director's cut, which adds about 23 additional minutes.
Yep.
But it's mostly character work, a lot more of like Denny and Christian scenes where you see them argue on the director's cut, and then you see this sort of results and the dichotomy of what was going on in the scene. And in theatrical cut, you just see the scene that is the aftermath, but in terms of story, it doesn't really add to the plot too much. You just find out a little bit more about character motivations, why Denny told him this in the other scene, why Christian was acting aloof in that scene, because there's a setup for it and all that stuff. But again, Ari Aster specifically said, if you watch the theatrical cut, you watched everything that you needed to know.
Yes.
If you wanted to know a little bit more on the English couple, a little bit more about Denny and Christian, about their relationship, a little bit more in depth, that's where you get the director's cut. Overall, just to sum up things, is the budget was $9 million and the movie made $48 million at the box office. And when they did come up with the director's cut, they did it in very select theaters. So it was very, very niche. They knew it's a niche thing, so they released it very, very niche, and it did pretty well for what it was. Obviously, the director's cut was already done because they cut it so many times that it was just ready to be released. Otherwise, all that good stuff. Whew. And that is that. Let me do this because I was doing something and I didn't quite finish it. So I will finish it right now. You probably know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, that's fine. You don't have to do anything. You just need to talk about one particular thing, and it is called Missing Marquee. In TV, it's called stretching.
Well, I would say,
now that we're on TV,
that is our longest behind the screen segment.
No, we had a longer one.
Dark Knight?
It is a Dark Knight, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But
okay.
we had a longer show. We had a longer show.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, behind the screens, Missing Marquee is where we take 10 posters of movies. 10 posters of movies, have their text written off. We display them, and you have to guess which movie this is. Ba-bam. Chat. It's all on you.
We still haven't done this one yet, man. But it's coming up.
It's coming up. Come on, James. We've got this. Scotty's here. I saw you, Scotty, coming in.
All you have to
and
do
Gambit,
is,
of course.
Look at his arms. Got a chainsaw and he's got his boomstick. James has got it.
James has got it. This is Army of Darkness. This
coming up in October. Just saying.
This movie has several fucking posters. I think 2 of them are in the sort of rotation. This movie is very well known.
It's the meme.
For one scene that got memed into oblivion.
And James already got it.
And James has got it. This is Downfall. Downfall is correct. I very much dislike this movie. And apparently it was kind of popular. Was
It's-
done on a really like tight budget, and it made a little bit of money.
Yeah, James got it.
James is on fucking fire. This is Date Night.
Not a good movie.
Nope.
Oh yeah, my least favorite Tarantino film. Yep.
It had to come up again. James
James?
is definitely on fire. This is Death Proof. Correct.
This was the movie I was trying to refer to when we were talking about Swim Fan.
Yep. James
has got it.
You are blazing this. Fear is correct.
Mark Wahlberg fingering a girl on a roller coaster. Yep, that happens in that movie.
Gambit is like very tight.
Gambit is like, God damn it.
Yeah. Full Metal Jacket is correct. Even like Scott, I knew this one. God damn it. It's a little bit tougher. You have to know your Denzel for this one.
Yeah, I know this one. I still don't like it though.
Yeah. You don't like it?
It's all right.
I started rewatching it and I stopped in the middle and I don't know why.
James has it. I liked it originally, but once we actually talked about this before when we were gonna shooting around a Denzel month, and I brought it up. I'm like, you know, it's really not that good. Yeah, it's really not.
I stopped in the middle. I don't know why. Maybe people liked like the back half of that movie. The setup is really long.
So. This movie's terrible, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Yeah, but James is just killing it today. So.
Yeah, Stuart Little. Stuart Little is correct. This one I have to punch in because this is not my favorite poster. There's a better poster, but the lettering is intertwined, so I can't really show it. This is The Great Escape.
Great movie.
Yeah. Great soundtrack too.
Ugh, Baz Luhrmann. Please die. My God.
Don't die, but don't make any movies, maybe.
Movies. Especially about like one of the greatest fucking novels of all time. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby. And that is it for today. All right. So back to this. I wonder if I just show this instead of us, do people still hear us? I think so.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it on screen and we'll talk, okay? So we're talking about Midsommer. And essentially this is a part of the intro. We can hear you. Yeah, thank you. As we say, from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen, I cannot make it any bigger, sadly. I can't really zoom into it. Otherwise, I would. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. One, in every single part of it, there are depictions of skulls or ghosts or that sort of a thing, where it kind of tells you, well, ghosts or skeletons are always ominous or death or plague or, the symbolizing that. Plus, you've got the crows. Not to mention the fact that the movie kind of starts with the sister and the tubings and death.
Well, which I found so perfect. It's very apropos, given the fact that her sister would have done that to her too, but death cut the cord going to Danny.
Yeah, that's stretching it for me. I love that theory. That's the sort of thing that kind of stretches it for me. So if we look, it kind of is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, I guess. Major pieces, but it's all over the place. So you've got, in the second piece, you've got the Denny and Christian story on the bottom and Pele on top, sort of like looking at them. You want to say even scheming at them.
Yes, which we discussed backstage, but never really got to it because, again, the actor Willem Blurgen never got another role after this, which I don't see how. He was amazing in this role.
He's done some stuff for like HBO, and I think he's done one of the he had a part in one of the Black Mirrors in the movies, I think. So I saw it in one note and I didn't jog it down because it's really doesn't really matter that much. And then the third kind of the picture is the travel that they do within the woods to get into the village, right?
Yes, and what's so fantastic too is again, Mark has already depicted that as a fool, which just as an aside, I wanted to bring this up as a point of conversation when talking about this film, because obviously there are a lot of like stereotypes when it comes to like slasher films and everything. But you know what film kind of did this just prior to this film really coming out?
Which one?
We discussed it.
Oh.
Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, Cabin. Oh, okay. I get it.
The depiction of a slasher with stereotypical roles in all of them, and they're defining this in their own tapestry and their own makeup of their own cultural themes and narratives that have to fit along this. Like it's
But what I did love is this is the moment where if you see the thing and you don't really pay attention, you miss it. And it's really interesting the fact that in the movie you don't really see it, but here it's very obvious that Pele has a flute that he uses. There's even like musical sounds.
Yes. Which okay.
I think sort of Go ahead. He is essentially the Pied Piper leading the rats into oblivion, essentially.
Okay, which again, I have to give the utmost credit to Ari Aster and also the head of their audio on the backtracking of this film, because the flute work that is done, it's so diegetically well placed, where it's playing for 2.5 minutes after Danny wakes up from her kind of drug fueled scene.
Yeah.
And they're walking while that music's playing. As they're walking into the compound, it's them playing that same flute music back to them. It's like, so it's diegetically sounds of the entire bit. It's like, oh, it's perfect.
So the third after that is you see the bear and them going into this sun arc thing and getting greeted. And essentially,
and also too, can you see the two elderly people above?
Exactly. Above them is the estupe kind of ledge where they jump themselves and they essentially turn into angels because they die. The chair with the smoke behind the chair doesn't really appear the same way, but the chair is sort of the chair where the May Queen is sitting on. You kind of see remnants of it at the last part, the fifth part, where there's the dance and the May Queen kind of is celebrated. But in the picture, she's not there. There's a big fucking plant instead of it, where she already feels like she's a part of a plant. There's, like I said, the moment where there's grass growing out of her hand and then the straw from her feet. And when she's sitting there, she's literally covered in 10,000 fake flowers. Essentially, she is a massive walking plant already.
Well, she's becoming part of the culture itself. And that's what like Pele, though the entire bit, he's constantly reinforcing that entire concept of, well, you lost your family, so did I. So that's why when people say like, oh, well, I didn't see how Pele's kind of an asshole, I'm like, well, yeah, he was, because he led them all to death to begin with, but also the entire time he was trying to essentially make Danny the May Queen throughout the entire film. That was his entire goal, was to bring her there. Yes. And essentially, like, which makes you think because it's Danny is the one who mentions the fact of seeing in the barn, in the communal barn where they all sleep. Like, so all the photos of the May Queens, were they also all outsiders that were brought in?
Yes. James, this was a great special effect and a good analogy. That is the whole point. Ari Aster didn't want to use a lot of CGI, but the CGI allowed him to give you that for a little bit, and it's not intrusive in the movie because it's not a special effect movie, but every time you had to have, we'll call it an emphasis rather than like a full-on something to prove.
Yeah, I would say emphasis, or if they're under an altered state of cognition, so them seeing like it being depicted as something different would make sense. Because even when the first time that Danny has a terrible trip, when she goes in the outhouse and she looks in the mirror and she's her sister in the background and her face is distorted, yeah, it makes sense.
So one of the things that both the DP Pavel, I'm not going to butcher his name again, the DP and Ari Aster were trying to do is when they shot this thing on the, I'm talking about the exterior. Not necessarily the first part where it's a little bit more dark and dingy, even in the bar where they're sitting around and eating, or in Danny's apartment. I'm talking about on the outside. They even use special lenses to make sure the color is a little bit more saturated.
Yep.
And you can get as much light into the lens as possible without having like dealing with the like overexposure and all that stuff, in order to enhance this sort of a fairy tale like environment that they're in, especially when they're under the influence of mushrooms or the specialty or whatever drugs are involved. That's where it's a little bit more pronounced. And they use that CGI just to give it that extra bit, right? And that's why it kind of works. It really kind of works. Even if you look into the weeds, no pun intended, the grass on the hand doesn't look real. It kind of looks fake-ish.
Yeah,
but it
works. I was actually
sort
of surprised the first time that you mentioned that. With the grass, the hand, I thought that was a practical effect.
Oh, really?
Because I thought it was a fake hand with the grass going through it because it looked so obviously fake.
That's bad CGI.
Okay.
So I like I said, I'll give them a pass because there isn't a lot used, and it's only to emphasize certain moments in the movie, and it doesn't really. So the movie itself, it's mostly pretty benign dialogue-based movie with,
I will say,
lots of visuals. Holy hell.
Again, the visuals are pretty much the most stunning and really the greatest part of it. Well, also the soundtrack. That's like, because it's crazy. Because Bobby Klick did a great fucking job on the soundtrack. It is astoundingly great. But there are just subtle scenes, especially like if you watch it a couple of times, where this is a kind of film that goes on for so long, it gets plotting in its paces. But on a second view, you kind of catch little aside remarks, especially from Mark. It's, oh my God, he's funny as hell. He's an asshole, but he's funny as hell.
I would, and be with me on this, if you would have exchanged Will Poulter and Ryan Reynolds, it would actually be the same. And the jester thing would have fit way better. But you can't have Ryan Reynolds running around in your movie being Ryan Reynolds. It would just steal everything. So Will Poulter,
at the end, they probably be like, "Well, you know what? You're kind of like that." We because they mentioned that they watched Austin Powers, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Because
which was really weird.
You look like men from National Lampoon Van Wilder. We can't kill you.
Yeah. It's so really weird. Now I put this shot before this one just to emphasize one thing. When there's dialogue, I'll select something in a minute, something a little bit more interesting. We'll talk about this. This is I'm giving you an example, not specifically this one, but generally speaking. You see dialogue at the foreground, okay, close to the camera. there's a lot of action going on at the background.
Oh yeah, yeah.
People are moving things. People are dancing, singing, playing an instrument, kids running around, but they're always doing something. This is everything that you see on screen. Everything is choreographed. I'm sorry. The coffee went up a little bit. So everything you see in the background is meticulously choreographed. Just because Ari Aster had a plan executed by his DP, but had a plan for the extras, exactly what to do and what not to do. Because if you're looking at the background, it will tell you a lot more about the Horga people, the village, the Horga cultists, we'll call it. A lot more. And as we said about the tapestries, where you get a lot more foreshadowing, there's a lot of foreshadowing in the actions of the people that are in the background while you're listening to a totally different conversation.
Well,
Christian and Denny.
What
all
a
that stuff.
really great one is Josh and Mark. They're walking out of the big communal barn where they live and everything. They're walking out, and there are the people that are singing, and they're, as soon as they walk past them, they go whoop, and they cut wood right in front of them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're dead.
Yes.
And James, I wholeheartedly agree with my friend. I like Mark because he's outrageously upfront about being an asshole. Christian is what we call a nice guy.
Yeah. One of the things, like another example is just from the very start. You can go even further into the movie.
The birthday thing. Oh, I love it so much.
The birthday thing, where it's like, oh, I forgot because it's daylight and
no, because I was fucked up. I thought it was yesterday, but we were so fucked up and trying to get the lighter to work. And it's like, so don't, you don't have to. I get it.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, and Pele seems to be the one that is like, yeah. Doesn't it feel rotten that he forgot your birthday and I haven't forgot your birthday? It's like, you slimy motherfucker.
It was before that too, when she's about to leave after the youngest daughter, when they died. He's like, well, don't you leave? Like, he flat out just tells her again about the fact, like, how his parents died in a fire, and like, I was an orphan just like you were, like you feel now. Like, I know exactly how you feel. Does he make you feel like you're held?
Okay. I want to talk a little bit again. To me, visually speaking, this movie is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. That is the thing that kind of held me to it. Not on the first viewing, I really didn't care. Second viewing, especially for this show, I really was trying to hang on to something that I actually liked in the movie, rather than the story, because I did not like the story at all. I really don't. The visual cues. There's two old people that are about to die, essentially a suicide, because it's voluntary, correct?
Well, it's considered senicide.
Yeah, we'll call it suicide. Okay, it's in they kind of get an explanation where I love the fact that it's another foreshadowing by Pele, because it's not the main lady there who explains it to Denny. So between 0 and 18, that's spring. Between 18 and 36 is summer. Between 36 and what's 18 and 36? 54. 54 is fall, and then from 54 to 72, that's winter. Kind of fits with the whole theme of nature, being close to nature, being in tune with nature, and the sort of human cycle. And then Danny asks really simply, wait a minute, what happens after 72? And Pele does this. and with a smile on his face. And I was
Well,
like,
and the thing is too is like
Well-
she thinks that he's making a joke, and when they talk about the entire concept, like well, tomorrow's the big day, and he mentions it to Josh, and Josh knows what it means and doesn't tell anybody about it.
no.
Especially the woman who just learned about her family dying.
Yeah, and coming back to Denny, did you notice? You probably didn't notice this in the first time. Maybe once in the 3 times you've watched this week. Holy shit. The 2 old people are dressed in blue. Denny's parents, when Denny has the vision after the first vision, I think, the first dream,
Yes.
Denny envisions her parents dead on 2 sides of her sister. Her sister is placed in a triangular position. She's wearing blue pants, but yellow vest.
Yep. And she
which
has
is in the middle, and
the
her
back
2
of her
parents are on the sides, father from the left, mother on the right, same as this one. And her parents are wearing blue too. And I was like, that is amazing.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because it feeds into later where her hallucinations, when she becomes the May Queen, bleed into her reality, where she mistakes one of the other participants that are in there as her mom.
Yes.
She's starting to see them as her own, which exactly was Pele's entire plan the entire time, was to bring them another May Queen. And he did it.
Yeah. And he did it. So the mallet thing.
The mallet.
They
sold it.
Look, when I saw this for the first time, as soon as I saw the mallet, I was like,
oh no.
Oh, okay. I kind of knew they were going to die. Just because the woman said they're 72 and Pele did like, ee.
I will say though, at least he wasn't as brutal as a little girl last week. With the hammer on Martha.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It kind of made me think of it in a way, because again, it's both horror movies and they're both kind of like, we're going to do it like in a daytime rather than nighttime thing. I was like, it's so interesting to watch it for this, essentially the second time.
So are you saying we could have almost, if you put 2 other movies in there, we could have titled them the entire month "Stop Hammer Time"?
Oh my God! Holy hell! No. But yeah, the reaction of the people, and if you don't notice it for the very first time, that's not a big problem. The fact that Pele is actually looking at them, he's not like all the rest of the Horga.
Yeah. Pele
the
is
Horga looking, the Horga, everyone's looking up. Pele's looking at the reaction of the,
No, he's making sure
victims.
How Danny would react, to see if Danny's going to be the May Queen or if she's going to be another victim. Because Christian was already pegged as such a fucking asshole. Like, no, he's going to be the one to impregnate one of the girls and then die.
Yeah. Now, this tension between Josh and Christian. This is the one moment in the movie where I would say, yeah, it's missing a little bit of context. Now, the context is there in the director's cut. When I said there are some things that within the like character development, stuff gets set up before this and then kind of like inserted into this moment. There's the moment where they drive into Helgoland, right? Before they go into the forest. Where they're talking about that thesis, and you hear Will Poulter's character, Mark,
yeah.
says something about, what are you going to write about your thesis?
Well, because the thesis is brought up several times, and it's the very beginning, where Josh even brings it up when the first conversation with Daniel,
where they're sitting at the bar.
Yeah, well, the pizza place.
Yeah,
like,
pizza place, whatever.
Well, yeah, but like, so are you sure you're not just avoiding this? So you're not, you're just not trying to, you're just avoiding working on your thesis because you don't have any ideas about it. And that works out more on the director's cut because it's more about how envious Christian is of how in depth Josh is about his entire concept. Go ahead.
I was going to say, that sentence in the car by Will Poulter's character is ADR'd in. Yeah. It was not there originally. It's to tie in the pizza place and this scene. So that's a midway point to do this. But he also tried to phone in his thesis paper by doing the same topic as Josh. Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Because you know what? He's a fucking, well, I think Josh nailed it perfectly. You're a leech. You're a pathetic piece of shit. That's what you are. And that's why like Jack Reynor, that's why you know he's a good actor, because you hate that character so much.
And the fact that he does it so nonchalant, that's what annoyed the fuck out of me. It's
yeah. It's like, well, also like, why are you so mad, bro? Like,
exactly. It's not like your undergrad or something. It's not your master's. It's literally your PhD.
Yeah.
It's so for people who are not in the academia. You don't actually get how important that is. But if you're looking for an academic career, it's like staying in academia and not taking this degree and doing something with it in the real world.
If you don't have a published thesis, you're fucking gone. You are done.
No, I mean, if your thesis is, first of all, it's a peer-reviewed paper.
Yeah.
And Josh even mentioned this. It's like, it's literally, it can build your entire rest of your life career.
Yep.
It can make or break your entire career.
Yep.
Otherwise, you might be in a field that I'm not gonna lie, has nothing to do with reality. And you have nothing to show for it other than I can do a PhD in something, which is like, okay, you can sit on your butt and actually do some research. So there is merit to it, but otherwise, whatever you put in the paper really doesn't matter to the real world. Really. It's not like a chemistry PhD.
Well,
it's anthropology.
No, with anthropology, along the study guidelines in this, what he could do is what a lot of grad students would do is, while they're working on their thesis, they will assist others on theirs, and they could be either a co-author or major contributor or major research associate or whatever included upon theirs. So when they inevitably do create their own thesis, then they have that as further backing on their own peer review, which is something that Christian could have done, but he's a selfish fucking prick.
That's what I want to say.
Fuck that guy.
It's okay. He gets, as Snatch says, proper fucked. So after the whole kerfuffle with the Arstupe, it's this movie, this is where kind of the movie takes a turn for the worse, because things get unravel, and this is why it's not your traditional slasher horror film, because most of the victims, you don't get to see them get killed. Most of it is off screen. So the fiance.
You only get to see two people actually get murdered of the group.
Yeah. So Josh and
Christian.
Yeah.
Because he's burned alive. Yeah.
They're
They're
also
already
kind
dead.
of off screen. I'm not gonna lie. Josh is essentially the only one that you actually get to see. Like, if you want to talk like a jump scare moment where he's talking and essentially clocked on the head.
Well, but so interesting because he's wearing the it's Ulfa. He's wearing the man who found him pissing on the tree, which because he was the fool.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Again, thing that gets me because even watching the entire story of Simon and Connie, I still feel bad for Simon and Connie because I really don't think they deserved it.
Yeah,
they were the ones that really didn't divert from anything. They were like, nope, this just isn't for me. We want out.
And remember, this is Pele's brother, maybe not actual brother, but essentially his brother as he presents him.
No, because he said he says, my brother, we've been friends since we grew up. The same thing where he says when Inga, the girl,
This is my sister. Yeah,
this is my sister. She was born on the same day as me, but you're not twins. That means the compound. Birth, same day.
Compound. As in,
Which,
we're the same family in the cult.
Which is so funny because Mark actually brings it up too. He's like, so we're going to Waco before we go to somewhere else.
Yeah, he said it Mark, Will Poulter's character, he says it.
Yeah.
And he says it off screen. You don't see him mouth it. You just ADR it.
Yeah.
Add it in later. Everything that you hear Mark say, all the goofy stuff is off screen, all of it is ADR.
But to be fair, though, he is pretty accurate.
I mean, yeah, it's so weird because the movie constantly gives you clues, not even clues. It's like he gives the entire story up front and all through the way, through pictures, through what people are saying. It literally tells you what's going to happen at the very end. Yet you are in such a disbelief because you're combobulated by this stupid breakup story. You're more invested at some point. You're more invested in Denny and Christian, or at least you're supposed to be, with Denny and Christian's breakup. Will they or will not they break, rather than will they or will not they stay together, right? And
well, you're kind of more just like, Danny, please, baby girl, wake the fuck up and lose this guy. Come on.
and
what really bothers me the most is the fact that, like, Josh, honestly, my friend, okay, you know what the Astrupa was, right? They followed it through correctly. They had the whole set-aside bit where they with one that didn't properly kill himself, they murdered him in front of you.
Yeah.
You know all of the other traditions, given the fact of all of your research with and a lot of those traditions where outsiders were brought in to help repopulate and then they are murdered. So why are you not running for the hills when they followed through on the first tradition?
I think Josh, first of all, he is the smartest guy there, but that kind of makes him
the dumbest?
No, I was going to say naive, but he is also he fell into the trap of curiosity killed the cat. Essentially, he was so curious about getting pictures because he wanted to write the paper. And if it's a peer review, and he said it to Christian, if it's a peer-reviewed paper, you need evidence, you need pictures, you need physical things to put in your paper. Otherwise, it's just words on a page,
writing,
right?
What I found so interesting too is right after that too is Pele again being the Pied Piper, stringing them along, giving Christian the good news in front of Josh.
Oh yeah.
Saying that, yes, the elders have said that you can have conversations, you can see the book. But
Christian gets it first.
Yeah.
Because he came to me first. And Pele knows what's going on
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole time.
Well, but he's playing them exactly like he wants to. And what's so funny is we mentioned this backstage before we had this conversation was throughout the entire narrative. This is why I think Wilhelm Blorgen is so great in this movie, is because his disdain of each and every single one of those characters grows throughout the film, and if you watch it again, you start to see his annoyance grow, where it's like,
oh yeah, I've seen it like on the second viewing, because I said the first viewing I was at one point I was so out of it. And I'll give you an example, and I said it 20 minutes ago about the fact that in the background there's always something happening that is very, very deliberate. And we mentioned this. Visually, there's visual cues that tell you that something is going on apart from it. In the background, who do you see? Maya with one of the more like elderly people.
Maya's always looking at Christian. Pele is always looking
at Danny.
Danny and Christian to see how they react to things.
Exactly. Now, visually speaking, when you see these dinners and all that stuff, right? If you notice it, before he even puts it in his mouth, every single glass there is yellowish.
Yep, it's so gross. It's so gross. And then what's in it? Ugh.
And Christian one is reddish.
Pink.
It's pinkish. Yeah, pinkish. But you already saw that in the tapestry, I think 40 minutes before this moment.
Yeah.
Right?
It has a
The
literally
tapestry
of the shading of the pubes and
the pubes and
in the pie.
The blood, I think, again, the blood, I think, symbolizes the fact that she's ready to mate. She has her period, so she's ready to mate.
No,
right?
that was her confirmation of the elders also accepting the fact that they accept him to mate with her.
I mean the tapestry.
Oh yeah.
The tapestry. She has blood. It goes into a pot. Maybe it's a part of the potion. You don't know.
With the rune of love. Yeah.
To me, the stuff that kind of hit me is the fact that early on she mentions the fact, or somebody mentions the fact that Maya is like sort of ready to have children. They never say her age. Ever. Which means she can be 18. Because they mentioned the fact that 18 is sort of that next chapter.
Yeah, which I think would be the proper phase, but it seems as though they were alluding to the fact that she's like 15 or 16.
Yeah, sort of like underage, not too much, but certainly very close to being jailbait.
I would say in Europe would be considered okay because it's consensual. Kind of thing.
It depends on which country. Blah 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 blah. We'll not get into the legalese here.
Legalese, but yeah,
again,
it's broaching on a subject where I don't think this is quite okay.
Yeah. Again, that is not essentially the issue here. The issue is what's happening in the background is always reflecting as one is in the foreground, even when it's nothing you would think about. I can't really show that.
Nope, not that either.
I wanted
you
the
could
mask.
show the mask face.
The mask. I wanted to talk about the mask.
Because this in so many ways, the first time I saw this, I started laughing out loud in the theater. And the person I was with like, what the hell is wrong with you? Because I'm like, all I could think of was Michael Myers.
Yes.
Because it looks like the William Shatner mask they turn inside out.
Yes, I know. It's the weirdest Will Poulter mask ever. Now, if I didn't pay attention to the story, I don't think it kind of looks like Will Poulter at all.
No, it doesn't.
But essentially, so the UK couple essentially one by one gets picked off. Then this is way after Mark peed on the ashes fucking tree.
Ashes tree, where it's like, yeah, that's where they put all their ashes. What the fuck? You saw them literally take the ashes out of the bodies that they had just burned, the people that killed themselves, and poured them there. That's where you want to pee.
Yeah, exactly. But this is to Mark's sort of oblivious character. He's oblivious from the very start, so it's within his character. He wouldn't know where to actually pee.
I will have to say though, what really is probably the most unnerving thing is how good and clean that work is. If that's supposed to be his face for a mask, I'm like, that means they have done this before, and they've had a lot of practice.
Oh yeah. So what I want to get to is then Mark gets picked off, and in the evening, Josh gets picked off.
Yeah.
With the mallet through the head, where they hit him over the head, and he seems like he's still alive when they drag him off. And this is getting towards that climax where there's the May Queen to be selected, and there is the mating ritual where they're systematically separate everybody from everybody.
Well, it was so weird too, because again, Pele knows what a piece of shit the Christian is. When they bring up the conversation of, oh well, Josh is dead, but how do we frame this? Oh no, our texts were stolen. Yes. And what does Christian do? He goes, I pushed myself away from my friend. No, I have nothing to do with him whatsoever.
He went super, I would call it corporate speak.
Oh,
100%. Where you immediately disassociate, sever the connection. I've never been his friend. It's like, you are such a fucking
asshole.
He's
such an asshole.
it drives that fucking wedge between him and everybody else, and that's why when he's sewn shut in that bear suit, he's like, you will burn in hell, motherfucker, because damn.
See what's so great too is the fact that Danny had the opportunity to save him, and she went, no, that guy is the last one. Because there are 9 that are needed at the end of the ceremony. It's like, no, fuck that guy in particular.
One of the things that you notice, again, on the first viewing even, you notice the fact that from sort of this moment, Denny is getting closer and closer and closer to the Horga rather than Christian. Yeah. Where throughout the movie, she keeps trying to hold on to Christian as her boyfriend.
Well, because what I love is just the concept that Ari Aster really brought up through this entire narrative is, again, about his own relationship, where he was able to, again, once it actually did fall through, was able to find another community to bring onto, where that and how terrible that previous relationship was, he was able to finally let that go when he was able to see in hindsight how awful it was. See, Danny is just seeing it currently.
Oh yeah. And like I said, that wedge that Christian does with the 2 elderly people and trying to get away from like the Josh, just from that moment, you literally see the separation between Christian and Danny.
Oh no, I thought it was already started before with the astupa, with that where he flat out told her.
I thought so from the first viewing. On the second viewing, I was like, no, it comes way later than you think. Like, no, because there's a moment where
sorry, go ahead.
There's a moment where Pele, there's several moments where Pele kind of grabs Danny, and Danny's not with Christian in the scene, and he talks to her, and he, like, the moment where he sits down and we're in that bar and he tells you, I understand, I've lost my parents too in a fire, blah, blah, blah. It's like, he didn't tell her which kind of fire it was. And I was like, Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
He was one of them babies.
And I was like, yeah, we kind of know. Well, we will know what kind of fire it is, but it's sort of like it's just not enough until that moment where there's no more Mark, there's no more Josh, there's literally Denny and Christian, and she is like, she doesn't say anything. There's no hint. Of course, Christian doesn't say anything because he's already checked out from the very start of the movie.
So
he already wanted to get rid of her a year prior.
No. What's so great too is if you notice, this is just a subtle bit, but near the very beginning of the movie, when they meet Simon and Connie for the first time. Well, how long have you guys been together? Oh,
yeah,
3
I
years
did
and
notice
6
it.
months. No, 4 years in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was checked out 6 months ago when her parents died.
Oh yeah.
But the thing was, I thought that was kind of the beginning of the final declination for Danny's side was how he immediately was like, he went into, well, the thing is, you just don't understand. You had to put it in cultural relativism. You have to understand in their culture, us putting people in retirement homes is just, that's barbaric and cruel. Then from there, him completely going, well, who the fuck are Simon and Connie again? I don't care.
Yeah.
Utter ambivalence.
It's
insane. Then the turn on Josh. That's when, because it was all like subtle buildup, but that was the linchpin there was pulled and she's gone.
I'm gonna turn back to visuals rather than actual story. This room is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
First of all, every single block there is individually painted, and no block is actually the same until you look at them. Some of the imageries appear here and there and here and there. So there are some that repeat themselves. It's not like the dresses.
But it's also funny.
Still really special.
It's funny with the way that it's done, where it's actually not really done in a runic style. It's more done in a hieroglyphic style.
Yes. That's sort of that difference between like full on just like Nordic runes and a little bit of amalgamation with a little bit of Celtic imagery and Germanic and that amalgamation of pagan European paganism. Swedish
Yeah. Well, like the Picts too. Yeah, very much. Yeah. I think by far the most like proper representation of the Swedish kind of that style was really done with the rocks that were done.
Yes.
Right with the Astrapa, where she cut her hands and then put her blood on the hand.
Oh yeah, the sort of that moment was like, okay, that's very Nordic. That you can't really. And at the very start, when they walk into the village and they sort of Josh and Mark kind of talk about that stone with the runes on it. That's way more Nordic than anything mixed. But that room with way more pictures of it, way more. As you mentioned, as sort of hieroglyphic-y style, yes, that's a little bit more confusing and an amalgamation of on purpose. All of it is on purpose. They sort of suggest, oh, what do you think about Maya? She is ready to bear children. And he's like...
It's like, well, no. She has picked you, and the elders have approved. So, I mean...
And of course... when they do the dance, and like I said, background and foreground, Maya is right behind. It's not totally behind him. It's a little bit to the side.
Right.
But she is there.
Still, like I find it like this. I was laughing my ass off, and someone that you're gonna meet soon. It was like, why are you laughing? Because like, so this is how mosh pits got started.
Oh. Have you seen how they shot this?
Yeah.
Really fucking amazing. So when there's a little bit more dancers, there's like 3 circles. They've put a track and a dolly on it. so they can go one way while the dancers are going a different way.
Yeah.
If you step back and look at them filming it, it looks kind of weird, and it needed to have like meticulous choreography in order for the camera not to hit anybody.
Yeah.
But it's fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's the one thing I love about this movie is how visually pleasing it is, and how, as James said, very meticulous way of doing things. Very meticulous way of doing things. Nothing is left to chance, and when stuff kind of happens, it's so on purpose. The fact that the last two bumped each other on purpose, and she didn't even realize she won until everybody was literally shouting at her.
You won. What? I won.
I won what? Oh boy, you won the big one.
Which again, just how meticulous Ari Aster is like, that's why I cannot wait for you to watch Hereditary. And you're gonna go, okay, yep.
Okay. The final table. I had notes that I didn't talk about. This table had actual food on it that you can eat. But as we mentioned, shooting takes a long time. You have to set up cameras. You have to do the take. Then you have to essentially do another take, or maybe 3. And the food was sitting there all this time in July, essentially. Not July. It's literally almost October when they finished. But
In
they started
Hungary.
in July.
Yeah, it's very
in Hungary in the summer. Let's just say when they sat down, there were already maggots in there.
Well,
and
maggots,
the food smelled really bad.
There was that too, and they constantly were basically throughout the entire film session, because it's all mead, because they utilized mead throughout.
Yes.
Wasps. So many wasps.
It was very, very, very problematic. Especially, like I said, especially that last table, which was filled with meat. Where in the other tables, it's a little bit more, we'll call it vegetarian based, or at least it looked like more of vegetarian based. This one was full on meat.
Which, because in so many
ways, it a problem.
It fulfills the entire narrative in another one of the other tapestries depicting the escalation of the feasts.
Yes.
Throughout.
And again, before she sits down, there's that ceremony where they open up a pit and they put in grain. And
no, that's after this. That's after.
Oh, it's after this. Okay.
Yeah,
I got mistaken. But that they
do try to force feed her a herring.
Oh yeah, which a herring is very Swedish, non-pagan thing, and to eat it whole. The Dutch have it as well. So in the Netherlands, they do have the same kind of thing where you have to hold it by yourself and just.
I would say that I would rather eat that than lutefisk ever again.
Was that the salted fish?
No.
The rotten fish?
Jellied eel. No, well, it's jellied shark, but it's fermented in lye. Oh, so gross.
Anyway, by the way, we're not going to do our second game of the night. We're not gonna.
Okay.
Because because I want to keep talking and don't want to stop. And there's not a lot of movie left, but we'll. So the girls take the May Queen to the ceremonial burial of grain and meat, which this is the offering to the Earth Mother, I think. I didn't understand the symbolism of this, except for a sacrifice or giving back.
It's an amalgam tradition of multiple different pagan cultures.
Okay.
So
I thought so. because it doesn't seem very appropriate, I would say, but we'll put it aside. And when she comes back, oh, can't show this.
Nope, can't show any of that.
I can show this. I can show this.
You know, I felt so bad. I looked over at someone and she does not know her. I went, Emma?
Emma? No. I didn't even think about it.
I was just thinking of the hair.
Okay. It's a weird thing. Again, there's always flashbacks of the obvious child that was very inbred, I would say. Who paints on the sacred book, and the elders try to interpret it. Yeah, that's what they told Josh, and I was like, maybe he's a little bit with less IQ and just loves to finger paint.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be as simple as that, but in a cult, everything is very special.
Yes.
There's that moment. Okay, not that moment.
Well, where they lead her to look into the peephole and essentially just see what's occurring.
No. They lead her into somewhere, but she's like, what's in that house? It's like, this is not for us.
Yes.
And
which
that's
again,
the moment.
Just an aside.
No. Okay.
This, you have to take this all in consideration. Built from scratch for...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And 3 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is this is the moment where the sort of like Denny is in the fits of assimilation, right? She is not in the family, but she kind of was looking for a new family and she doesn't know it, and she's not quite fully integrated. So when they tell her don't go in there, she already senses that she needs to go in there. And there's that oh fuck it moment, right? When she's like, no, I'm going to go in there because I'm interested. And she looks through the keyhole. She sees we'll call it the betrayal, okay? Call it the betrayal. And she is just
shattered.
Done. She is.
Because
that's the moment where she is like, donezo.
Because Christian was her last real tie to the life that she had before. Literally, her family is dead.
And this is something really special that Ari Aster wanted for us to know is at the very beginning, at the very introduction to this Horga cult, they chant together, they sing together, not really singing, but sort of has that guttural, way of doing things. By the way, they had to teach them to do this,
which is so great, because this is what a lot of old actual pre-Christian pagan cults would do. Because what you do is, again, they oddly brought this up in Fight Club.
Yes, they did.
You're taking massive, deep panic breaths, because you are actually, in a way, getting high, and you become more docile. And
one of the things that Ari Aster wanted to sort of like have a payoff to what he kind of casually, Pele kind of mentions it, the fact that they're all kind of a unit and they feel each through sort of like being in touch with the earth. Maybe not Pele said it, maybe one of the sort of like great mothers or one of the like higher up ladies said it. They're so in tune with the earth, they're almost in tuned with each other's feelings. So whenever someone feels like emotionally down, like Denny is at this moment, the others kind of reflect it back to her, or actually feel the
Take it upon
sadness
them,
that she
yeah.
feels. So when she cries, they cry with her
So it's in a way
without
it's,
actually understanding why, but they do.
so in a way it's the ultimate form of empathy, which honestly that's the perfect bring that back up real quick, because it feels exactly it's the counterpoint to or pretty much, well, sorry, not counterpoint, the exact evidence of what Pele was speaking to, of do you feel held?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She literally is, and this is so great too, because Florence Pugh actually is. I'm sure you've read this too and saw, but she actually, yeah, exactly.
It's the weirdest form of empathy. Yes.
But
Correct.
it's depicted throughout the entire film, especially like when the elderly man in the Aspupa falls and he doesn't quite die. When he's crying and moaning, they cry and moan with him. When they burn later, they all panic in the same way because they all feel with them, like they're a hive mind of some sort in their own.
Yeah, and this is where the collective for me clashes with the individualism in me. Like I understand, but I know I cannot be a part of it. Sort of like, and it's the same with, we'll call it Western cultures, which is way more individualistic in general.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
In general, it's sort of like the two sides of the human experience, if you want to call it. But essentially,
well, except when it comes to it getting too far off the deep end, when people fall into the trappings of I just want to be found, I want to belong to something. See Jonestown, see Waco, see the Moonies,
So I was gonna say Josh, but not Josh. Mark. I'm so confused. It's Christian. What Mark? Yes. Christian kind of like finishes and then he storms out naked.
He's running and he's trying to figure out a way to go, and he goes to the barn and he sees Simon hung up,
flayed.
No, he's put in the blood eagle, which is by far probably the worst way to fucking die, and he's still alive.
I wasn't sure he was alive.
I'm not. Well, that's true.
I was unsure if it was alive because Christian was already hopped up to oblivion with whatever they gave him.
That's true.
To do the ceremony, the lovemaking, we'll call it. Okay.
Well, but the ceremony of the blood eagle is to make it so that you make them live as long as possible to suffer as long as humanly possible.
Okay, I guess so. The fact that they stuck in 2 fucking flowers in his eyes, I don't know when. Was he alive at the time or not?
I don't know. But his lungs are on his outside like wings, like they do with the blood eagle, and they're breathing. You're like, huh?
I essentially went to like the scene in Silence of the Lambs, where he hungs the officer.
Oh yeah,
fully splayed out.
Hannibal Lecter at least killed him first.
Well, yeah, and sort of like, and Christian eyes are still open, and the elderly guy kind of shuts one of them at a time, which visually it's fucking amazing.
It's gorgeous. Like it's such a unique twist to take, but it's perfect. I mean,
And then, of course, we come to the last scene, which is essentially the selection, I would say, of who's going to get sacrificed. And I'm not going to put in the other way around, but you can tell from the bottom on the right and left, the people trees, the people who were Horga, who elected to be trees, I guess.
Well, which also given their hair and length, it seems as though they were already going to be elders.
Already part of the elders. And this is one of the things is Denny like covered in the amazing gown that she had. And now that I'm thinking about it, yes, it's 30 pounds, but Florence Pugh isn't standing up. She's sitting down. So maybe it wasn't meant to be carried.
I don't know though. Florence Pugh isn't that tall, so she might be standing up.
She might be
the
standing
guys
up.
are just
Yeah,
really tall. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. And the juxtaposition of Christian in the cart, in the wheelchair.
They open his eyes too, one lid at a time. Like, by the way, you can't move, you can't speak. This is gonna happen.
And they have this stupid fucking lottery thing.
Yeah, we're given the entire concept of it, which you feel bad for the people that were there, but you're like, no, they were doomed to die anyway. Is already said,
Okay,
because they needed 4 new bloods, 4 old bloods, and then 1 volunteer, or like one old blood or 1 new blood for 9.
No, more than one. They had 2 Horga volunteers that are young. One of them is like Pele's brother. Right?
Yeah. So they have 4 of their blood, 4 old blood, 4 new blood, which they already have.
Yeah.
Which means that the people they brought were
and Christian as the okay.
So
not
so
the volunteer,
either 1 new blood or a volunteer.
Yeah.
And
okay,
it's up to
I
the
got
May
you.
Queen to pick the last one.
Okay. One thing that has to do with what's her name? The English lady. Simon and
Connie.
I'll flash this thing for a minute. If you notice, Connie kind of looked like she was drowned to death.
Yes.
Now, the setup to her drowning, there's no actual in the director's cut stuff that you see her drown, but she's involved in a scene where they're in the water of some sort, and it kind of leads into her drowning. That's a scene that they took out. And Aster said that, yeah, I'll show you this so you'll understand the context, but otherwise you don't really understand why she's in, like, it looked like she was drowned because her hair is wet. Essentially, it kind of looks like it's wet.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, she looks like a waterlogged body. I mean,
yeah. And of course,
have to love our skinned Mark wearing the jester's cap.
Yes, exactly. And of course, we've got Christian in the bear suit.
Josh has his notes stuffed in his mouth.
Yes. Yes, this. I wanted to get to this. Where his eyes are not open, they're wide open.
But he can't move. He's paralyzed.
But he can't move because he's still paralyzed. And he is sewn into this bear, as I mentioned numerous times in this show.
Which is so great because at the beginning of it, like, so what about the bear? It's a bear. What? It was so great too is there are even people in the commune who are still part of the tradition, but aren't really kind of into it, because when they kill the bear, there is a lady outside crying because she cared for the bear.
Yes. Again, going back to what James said, it's a weird form of empathy. Really, really weird. That's why it's not just a pagan ritual. It's a full-on cultish behavior.
I do have to say, they said the sap from the yew tree, so you'll feel no pain. The sap from the yew tree, you'll feel no fear. Ingmar felt fucking fear and pain because he's screaming his ass off.
Yeah. Again, going back to the screaming, the empathy, the feeling of getting burned, but not really getting burned. Spoiler alert, Christian died with painful death. Yeah.
Yes.
He was burning alive. He felt it. He could not scream.
Dare I say, sorry, deserved it.
Sort of.
Sorry, what's that? Oh, sorry, not sorry.
So there was a
I love the juxtaposition because this in the director's version goes way longer than it should be. I'm glad they cut it down with the bit with Florence Pugh's transition from the obviously the background shot moving into the foreground of her and her slow smile moving into the ending credits. I love this ending. It's so perfect because now she is bought in completely. She found her new family now.
And if you look at cults throughout history, who are the people who essentially fall into the cult mentality?
Those with
the
nothing
people
left
who
to
are
lose.
already damaged, who are looking for something else.
Yep.
It's true to Jonestown, as you mentioned, true to Waco, true to a lot of cults. That cult in Japan where they sent the sarin gas, remember that from the 90s?
Yeah.
Same kind of mentality. I can tell you about 2 cults over here that you've never heard about. And I wanted to say sex cults, but I think all cults are sex cults.
In some way, which is the worst bit about it, we're immediately like, well, technically, wait, huh? Wago got really weird. We're like, well, technically, I can fuck your wife, but you can't anymore. Huh?
Yes. Like I said, there are 2 essentially cults here that I know of. One of them was, it was so hard to convict the guy because there was still women in there. It was like the one guy and all of them were women. And some of them turned on him. Some of them defended him till he was sent to prison. But it was so hard to convict the guy.
And that was the basis of the Mike Myers film, Ladies Man.
No, absolutely fucking not. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is essentially the end. And I will revert back to the question at hand. Is Midsommer a one and done? I will answer first.
Okay.
To me, completely. Is the movie bad? I think the story is transparent. It's telegraphed. You can visualize the ending without actually watching the tapestries. The tapestries give it away, even if you're on the first watch and you barely pay attention to them. They really telegraph the entire thing. And when it happens, you're like, but you already told me what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So there's no surprise. That was the thing that kind of threw me off the first time. And I really noticed it the second time. Visually, it is fucking incredible. And I haven't even talked about the homage to The Shining. Have you paid attention to it for just a little bit? There's a moment where they go off the plane and they drive to the fucking Helgoland, and what the DP does was like the shot where it drives
It's the
through
winding
a
road,
narrow
yeah.
winding road, just like at the start of The Shining, but then it literally flipped it on its head because you saw it from essentially upside down. And I was like, oh, it's not just symbolism. You're telling me it's The Shining, but it's all upside its head.
Which, as an aside to which I think by far my favorite probably transition in the entire film is there is a bit when Danny and Christian are in, I don't know if it's Christian's apartment, but Pele, Mark, and Josh are there.
Yeah.
And Josh and Mark kind of go off, and Pele has a conversation with Danny and says, well, I feel so sorry about I'm so sorry for your loss. She goes to the bathroom and it transitions into her being on the plane.
Yes,
in the
on the
plane.
plane.
And I'm like,
yes.
that's a brilliant way to do that. Yeah.
Yes. I visually stunning. Cinematically fucking great. I love it when a director has his vision and he's like, you're going to do this.
Yep.
There was zero ad libs in this movie. Zero. Okay. Because of that foreground background thing where the background always tells you a story that the director wants you to know,
adhere to,
and
like,
you're
has to stick to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you have to stick to it because it's pieces of the puzzle that I'm trying to give you in order for you to build it and solve it. Good movie? Yes. Do I want to come back to it? Absolutely fucking not. I hated this movie. Hated it. It's the fourth week in a row where I can say I hated the movie. Is it good? Yes. Yeah. Is it worth a watch? Once. Yep. One and done for me.
That was the concept of the entire month, my friend.
I know.
And, James, no, you got that smile too, to the same kind of transition shot. To answer your question though, I agree for someone who is just watches films, not trying to take them in any kind of critique, not trying to take them in anything other than their face value. Midsommer is a one and done. This is why this movie defines the concept of a one and done, specifically because also it is way too long.
Oh yeah.
I know there are so many gorgeous and beautiful shots, and Ari Aster did an amazing job filling space, but there is so much space that is really unnecessary.
It's not even when it's the good shots, those don't take that as long as you think.
Yeah.
It's
I know
dialogues that end and then there's people looking into the oblivion or just you're spending way too much time getting to where you're going, where you could have stepped it up a notch and do a 2-hour movie and lose zero. Like zero. You would have seen everything that you saw in the theatrical cut with 20 minutes less or 25 minutes less, and you would still get every single bit of story and dialogue and whatever you wanted. Stuff just took too long.
I would say too, which I find very interesting is that I'm gonna have to go back and put back on Hereditary, because when you watch the film, it has these gorgeous cinematic shots and a very, very interesting take on a very different horror genre, which we discussed. But when you watch it, it has those, but it's a very more concise film that tells its narrative in a much more succinct manner, which I think you're going to actually really enjoy Hereditary, because I think if they would have really cut a lot of the extra fluff out, and also like as much as I enjoyed and many people enjoy a lot of the scenes that were like not scenes, but the audio that was ADR, the jokes that were said in the background, I'd rather have the film be tighter,
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of added to my frustration from the story itself. But yeah, thank you for joining us this evening. Next week, another movie that is potentially one and done. Essentially, we kind of think it's a one and done, and it is Speak No Evil. Now,
it is
specifically for those of you who actually follow us and watch the movie prior to the show, which I love, is you watch the original Speak No Evil from Denmark, I think. Where is it?
Yes. From
Denmark.
2022.
And watch it with subtitles, because otherwise you can't really, unless you understand Denmarkian, Danish.
Actually, it's mostly in English, but yeah, you're fine.
It is? Well, fuck me then, I guess. No, and not the James McAvoy American remake, I guess.
The remake is terrible.
Is it with Emily Blunt too?
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't remember. I know it's James McAvoy because he's on the fucking poster, and I think I've seen somebody interviewed him when the movie came out, after the movie came out. Is it? All right.
trying to see.
Before James goes, or he probably went, but thank you for having me, guys. Of course, having you can just be here and just listen to us babble about for a couple of hours. But thank you very much for the 30 bomb. That goes a long way, my friend. That goes a very, very long way. Well, thank you very much.
It was Mackenzie Davis. That's who
Mackenzie
it is.
Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, the chick from Dark Fate? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to watch that. But yeah, go watch
the Dutch version. It's a far superior film anyway, but also it's way better.
Okay. So we're going to cover the original version of Speak No Evil from, is it 2022?
Yep.
Yeah. From 2022. And I guess we'll talk about it next week. Because remember, guys, hope is a good thing. Can't really speak. Maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. We will see you next week. You're still here? It's over.